Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome. This is episode number 3 of the FogCast. Living Dead Fan presents the FogCast. Welcome in, everyone. How is everyone doing? Living Dead Mom, how are you doing this evening?
Doing fabulous. Super excited. This has been an exciting build-up with our guests to this day. We've been waiting to do this one for a while now, and as the season draws closer, we're going to start rolling in and doing more. So we've already got people lined up for the next one, and I know there's more of you guys that want to come in and talk on this podcast and share with your friends and family. Please send us a DM on our Instagram. We want to have you on here, so definitely join us.
Yes, we are excited, everyone. We cannot wait. It is a halfway to Halloween season, and what a better way to celebrate halfway to Halloween by having another episode, other guest from the Knott's Scary Farm theme park with us. Not only do we have two monsters from the world famous mazes there, but we actually have another guest with us that we haven't had on the podcast yet, or should I say the FogCast. And what kind of performer do we got with us in addition to our mazes?
We brought the streets in tonight, guys. So tonight we have a really special scare actor performer from Forsaken Lake, one of the spookiest processions you've seen ever from Knott's Scary Farm. And we're going to be introducing her in a clip here along with our other two friends. We've got one ghoul from room 13, the bouncer, the first guy you see at the door, keeps us all in line and tells us some funny jokes. You know, if you don't like that maze, he's going to tell you here real soon. And we've got Lando from Bloodline's 1842. And he was always getting us in the dark. When I say the dark, I mean the dark.
Literally pitch black darkness. It was even hard finding clips and videos, pictures from our previous streams. We were having the worst luck trying to get a snippet of him, but literally scared us in the dark every night we went through Bloodline. So we're excited to have our guest with us tonight.
We are. And so here's the part I always fumble, but it's so important to do, is I want to share each of these guys with you. And I'm going to do that by sharing my screen and then playing a little clip that Living Dead daughter put together of each of them. She's 13 and working on her editing skills, and we're so proud. I'm telling you, I could never do this myself. So I'm going to share the screen, and the first one that should be coming up is Lando from Bloodlines.
Woohoo.
Let's see.
Get a round of applause for Lando.
No.
All right. Everyone, please welcome to the stage our friend Lando Bloodline. Yeah. What's going on, Lando? Welcome in.
How's it going?
Really so good. How about yourself, friend?
Doing pretty good. Sorry, I'm like in the middle of the end of my shift.
But no worries. Take your time.
It's okay. It's okay. You settle in, and we're going to get started on bringing on our second guest, which is going to be Germaine, or you may know him as Memories and Amusement. And this one is special from room 13. We're going to share screen again. And let's see.
If you don't know my maze called room 13, it's called Mesma.
my twin brother, Germaine.
What's up, guys? How's it going? Thank you for having me here. I am excited to be here.
Thank you for being here, Germaine. We're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Absolutely.
Last but not least, we are going to bring in Miss Distort, as I know her from Instagram, and I believe we've got pipes as far as she is known at the haunt. So here we go. It's all the way back. Come on. Why isn't it? There we go. All right, here we go. Last but not least.
Welcome to the stage, everyone.
There she is.
Our friend from Forsaken Lake. You know her as Pipes, Miss Distort.
There it is.
Hi. Oh my goodness. It's so great to be here.
Thank you so much. We're so excited to finally get someone from the streets into the FogCast. So we can't wait because we have more questions for street performers than we do, as well as our maze performers as well. So this is going to be a fun episode to get their take on the street performers. But first of all, thank you guys so much for coming into us and giving us your time as well. Should we say hello to the chat real quick? Who is here in the chat with us tonight?
Oh my goodness.
And we also have questions from that you guys submitted earlier with us. But if you guys have some questions, please let us know in the chat. We'll try to get to as many questions as we have, as in addition to our questions that we typically have for our friends here. But welcome, and we got Missouri in the house.
We got Missouri in the house. We've got Spooky Lobby from, I'm going to guess, Bloodlines in here for Lando. We've got a fresh loaf of garlic bread. She is in Cinema Slash last year. Who else? We've got Romel E. Madero. How are you? Welcome in. Lucas, welcome in. Anyone else jumping in from the mazes? Let us know. Graveshift cosplay, another Bloodlines. Monica Gonzalez, how are you? Her brother was in Mesmer this year. You guys, thank you for joining us. It means so much. You just have no idea. And all of our YouTube family, thank you for coming and supporting all of these guys from our favorite theme park scare zones. Make no bones about it. Halloween 365.
What's up, Judy?
Guys. Holy cow. Oh, I'm fangirling. Missouri, Halloween 365. You are all amazing. Please, if you guys don't mind, mods, help us drop Halloween 365's link for us. She's on all the socials and YouTube. She puts out amazing content. Missouri on the socials, TikTok, and also Instagram. Amazing edits, a huge supporter also to the Not Scary Farm community. Thank you guys for joining us.
I see we also got Slasher Wife 85 in here, and Pops is in the house.
Pumpa, what's up, Pumpa?
That's right.
We're just gonna want to just sit here and chit chat, right?
Hi, Marble.
I know. Also, you got Miss Distort from your Instagram community. You also have some questions that you want to address as well, and we're absolutely going to give you the ground to do that. Let's get some regular questions in, if you don't mind, and then we will do that at the end. I know you wanted to go live on Instagram, so totally cool.
Doing that right now.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing. If you are new here, we would love if you would hit that subscribe button, not just to support us, but to support everybody here in the community as well. All right, Living Dead Dad, take it away.
Take it away.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's been a minute, so forgive me here. Well, let's see. Room 13, the Doorman. How did you like? I want to know, like, what was like? How did you just do that every day? Like, how did you keep it fresh every day? In fact, this goes questions for all of you guys, but I'll start with the Doorman here. Germaine, how do you keep it fresh every single day, being in that role? You're only allowed to go so far. You got pretty sure you got like your parameters. What keeps it fresh and interesting for you guys? But let me start off with Germaine here as the Doorman.
I'll be honest. I didn't get started till the third night of the first week. So I missed that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then I got an email saying, hey, you got a position. Mind you, I've never done Scary Farm ever before in my life. So I go in at 6 and I go to the counter behind the scenes and I'm lost. And they're like, go to makeup. And I'm like, makeup? They're like, yeah. So I go to the room 13 desk and they're like, you're the bouncer? I was like, yeah. And they're like, have you ever done this before? I go, no. And they're like, okay. So they put me in makeup, and then luckily I ran into Chris, the bartender, and he took me to the maze. I had no idea where I was even going. Like, I had no idea. They gave me a folder. I read who I was, and I had like 20 minutes, and I'm like, what do I do? So literally, I'm it's 1920s. My character is a shell-shocked soldier. That's a zombie. Flirtatious with women, likes kids, doesn't like men, kind of like an alpha guy, kind of like my wife said that was the perfect role for me. Like, it was just one of those things. So I had no idea what to do. So literally I'm behind stage. First night, I go to ChatGPT. I'm a bouncer from 1920s. Give me some like PG things I can say to people, like insults. And it came up with like gabagoo, ragamuffin, well, fat cat, like all these terms. So I was like, okay. So then I get up there and they're like, and then the doorman's like, have you done this before? I go, no. So they're like, all right, do your thing. So at first it was like grunting, like, and I was like, no, this is boring. So then I just started like interacting. And then the interacting became kind of like crap talking in a way, but not just kind of like, oh, look at this guy. You think you come in dressed like that? Like, then I just got into the character. So back to the original question, how did I do it? Literally, once I saw that makeup for the first time, I wasn't Germaine anymore. I was who I was supposed to be, and everything just changed. Like, and then it's just, and then every day came by. So it I didn't have contacts the first 2 days. The second time I had contacts. Like, everything progressed to where it just became natural for that person in those minutes that I had. But to say I was ready, I wasn't. You just jump into it, like literally just jumped into it.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Germaine. Thank you. Lando, how did you keep it fresh, my friend? First of all, the name of your spot in Bloodlines, it was like some type of a ghoul, or you always wore the robe and the hood. Like, how did you keep your scares so fresh every night?
It's funny because like the first day, I remember opening night, I screamed so much that I went outside and my voice was gone. And I was like, oh no, my voice. I'm like freaking out. They're like, just drink water, you'll be fine. So I just drink a lot of water. But after a while, you kind of get used to it. Like, I think maybe it's just because like the voice to it. But the first day, it felt really awkward too. I felt super awkward, just like standing there because I didn't even know what to do. For Germaine too, it was my first scare too, and I always go as a guest, so I was like, wow, this is like the real deal. So I don't know, but I just kind of went with it and improvised and saw what other people were doing as well, kind of copied that.
Love it. Awesome, my friend. It's you did a great job since you were always in the dark. I'm probably sure it's probably easier to scare because people probably didn't even see you coming. Like, it was pitch black.
I know people were so unaware, It was so funny because people would be like, oh wait, nobody's around the corner, and then you go, wow, and then you go, ah! Like they won't even like realize that you're around the corner. It's just so funny.
I
But yeah,
love it. Thank you, Lando. How about our friend, our street performer here? How do you keep it fresh every day? It's probably a little easier because you got a little bit more freedom to roam around. So, but you still have to keep it fresh with your scares. Do you mind sharing with us your secret on keeping everything exciting for the guests every single time?
Honestly, it was about like, I guess wanting to be there and actually getting to be there was what fueled me each night because I worked for it. I earned it. I got to have it. And that's like that what pushed me every single night. And being like a part of the procession, like going down Mission Road up to the mausoleum was my everything. Got to do it twice a night, which was it took me almost the entire season to like actually like process that I'm doing this. Like this is I expected like not that I expected, but I didn't picture myself as that character, but when I got to have the opportunity, it was like everything was all connecting and I was just having the best time each night, even through like the weird, difficult, challenging moments. I still made it what's the word? I still made it my own. And it kept on pushing me each and every night because I knew this is where I wanted to be. I got it, I earned it, and I'm gonna make it the best that I can be every single night. So it was the dedication of, and the support that I was getting just made it so much better that it kept on fueling me. So it was so good. It was honorable, and it was just like the grandest time ever.
I love
I
it.
can't imagine. I wanted to piggyback off of that because one of the questions that came in from a fresh baked loaf of garlic bread, our cinema slasher said, I love her.
Cinema, yay!
She said, her second question is, and then I'm going to go to her first, but to piggyback off of what you were saying in the question here, she says, how do they deal with burnout everyone gets hit with mid through the night when you run out of energy, but you still have hours to go? How did you guys, not just the season burnout that I'm sure comes sometimes, but that the long night, how do you guys keep yourselves going each and every single night?
water, food, and energy drinks.
Okay. What's the top of your list as far as energy drink goes? What's your go-to?
Rockstar.
Rockstar. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Very
I would
good.
say I would say for me it was a lot of tea and honestly the crowd because
Mm.
my position I couldn't I had no option but to be on
Yeah.
because the only break I had was behind the scenes. So when I'm in front, I can't. At the end of the day, they're there to have a premium experience, and I don't want to show my lack of energy. So I literally fed off the crowd. I didn't feel it until about 4:30 in the morning when I got home. Then the adrenaline went down. Then it was like, it was one of those things like I would toss and turn, and then it was just like I'd pass out, So I can honestly say I never had crash because I wasn't allowed to have crash because I was just nonstop interacting the whole time I was out there. So it was an endurance for me, and I pulled through.
You sure
Awesome.
did. And you were in the right spot. You were in the
Yes.
right spot then. Yeah. What about you?
Honestly, for me, it was like you said above, it's the crowd. It's having the open space of I get to do what I want, like safely and cautiously, of course, but like this space is my playground. I can
Mhm.
do whatever I want. I can use the sets, I can use my props, I could literally use anything around me and put that to my advantage, as it were. And the reactions, the really just the environment, the open space, the reactions that I got was just it pushed. It's how would I say it? It inspired me to go further, like keep developing new ideas and just, I guess, go a little bit harder each night.
Mhm.
And again, that does fall back to, wanting to be here and having, like, making sure that, or I want my dedication to be shown to, I want to show my dedication that I care about this place and make it known. And, just really just that. But it's a thrilling experience to be out there and have that space. It's surreal. It took me a while to, like I mentioned earlier, it took me a while to process that, but every night was just like perfection, like literally perfection.
Awesome.
You've got another
Awesome.
friend in here who says, Andrew loves Maria too. He is from Chambers. And he says, hey, Zoe, this is Andrew. You're a good scare actor and a good friend. I remember you started Grimoire and the Depths. So congrats on the streets.
Thank you. It's really an honor to, having this first scare zone being the one that I love so much. What better way than to have that as like your first street zone and learn so much off of it and profit off of that in future seasons, like next season, 5 seasons, however long I'm working here. I'm not sure, but thank you. I came a long way, but thank you. I really do appreciate that.
He also asked, what made them transition from mazes to streets, and how difficult or different is scaring in between the two?
Zoe.
Good question.
Yeah.
That is a good question. I think really it's the environment. You're not just like I was in Mesmer the previous year, and that's what I believe. That's what really helped me influence as to join the streets. It's really, you can use so much with your environment. Again, like with streets, having a character that has a little bit more freedom than others. Not saying that the others are secluded, but with various like different characters, they have a little bit more freedom than others. So you can really use that to their advantage. I was an outside character, so I could really play around with that. And, I got some really good reactions. I was thinking outside the box with my character and really exaggerated the movements, really thought more like basically separating myself from the character. I am not this character. This character is not me. I'm basically the polar opposite. And it makes it so much easier to switch into that mindset. Like, what is this character and how can I use that to think what they would actually think? Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So and it really just, I guess it's a deviation from, how would I say it? It's like the deviation of what you can use, what's available to you. Not saying that you can't with any other character, but with more accessibility you have with the environment and with like your character, I guess. Like with Mesmer, there's some outside characters. They can do more. You can really play around with that. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to step up the level and make this character memorable, something that they can revisit if they want to go another night. So it's really that. And it's a weird transition at first. It can be. I definitely had that within my first week or two in being Forsaken. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. So I just kind of let it run loose and just profit off of there. And I really did profit off of that. So it's weird transition at first, but within like a week or two, you get over it. You have a foundation and you really run with it.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Hey, RJ Clark, welcome in. Another question we had from our daughter is, what are their favorite types of people to interact with to make it a fun night?
That's a good question. I think probably the drunk people, because
That's a good answer.
What's gonna happen? And then and they're like, ah! But like the worst thing is like them getting offensive or like upset at you for getting scared. And I've had people like threaten me, and some of my coworkers have gone like, I don't know if they gone like hit or like punched, Oh no, I think they did actually get like punched or hit or something, and it's happened numerous times during the last season. So I don't know what's up with that, and it's just crazy too because like there's no security in the mazes. They're only outside of the mazes.
Good
So
point.
the blackout, you have to tell the blackout, and the blackout has to tell the security, and it takes forever to even get the word out. So
And they're probably gone by time anyone gets there.
Yeah.
it's a weird situation, but I would say that and probably like the teenagers because they think they're so like safe and tough around like the scares, and then go behind them, and they'll just freak out and then run. But it's
Welcome
super.
install. Yeah.
And for me, I would say everyone, because everyone was fair game. It was like open season. You do you, and just make sure you don't cross the lines and take it maybe right to the line. But at that point, you knew who and what to do. With it. But I would say one of my favorite marks of the whole season were the people that had to wear the freaking Disneyland stuff to Scary Farm. I would be like, it was like, I'm the bouncer, so I'm like, you know what? There's a dress code here, and I don't even know what this place is. Disneyland. It sounds like the crappiest place on earth. And then people are like, what? And I go, I bet you it's expensive. So then I just start getting into it. And then towards the end, it was like, oh, look at me. I'm cool wearing this at room 13. And people get so embarrassed. So, like, I would say the Disney crowd, because they already came in kind of, I'm not going to lie, pompous. Like, oh, we're wearing our Disney sweaters at Scary Farm, and we're cool. Oh, it was just like open season.
They're easy targets, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, that and of course the little moppy-haired kids, So I'd be like, hey, next time you come into my establishment, comb your hair because you look like a friend I don't like. His name's Edgar, and then people would be like, oh, So it was just one of those things. It was like, just get there, have fun, but it was like a lot of fun, But at the end of the season, you guys were there. I thanked everyone for coming, and I thanked everyone for doing their thing and basically saying, hey, we're closed for the season, but hey, thank you guys for coming, and little jerk things here and there. But for the most part, everyone was my target. Everyone was my favorite crowd, to be honest. My favorite interaction.
That's awesome. You tell everybody they missed the turn for Oogie Boogie Bash.
Pretty much.
Zoe, what do you think?
Could you ask the question again? Just
Your favorite interactions. Who did you love the most out there?
That's a really good question, honestly. And I actually do have a funny story about that. That's actually a really, really good question. I would say really just about anyone, especially when like you get a really good reaction out of it. There was one night that there was like this group of like Asian teens, and this girl is like with like her boyfriend or something, and she's like cowering with like her phone, and I'm just there just like doing my thing, and they asked for a photo, right? So I invited them, and so we get the photo taken, blah blah blah. So there's maybe like 2 people right here and 2 other people right here, and then the 2 others that are right beside me. Actually, no, there was one person that was taking the photo. I don't remember. I charged at them, and everyone just started shooting at their own different direction, like just party to see. And my supervisors were right there. See it right there, just right in front of the stage, right there. Just gone, and it was so beautiful. It was so good. So reactions like that are very like, they give you energy.
Heck yeah, absolutely. The parting of the sea there.
Yeah.
Halloween 365 says the bouncer gets to roast for free, and that's awesome for Germaine. The nightly roast.
It came natural.
The nightly roast.
I have another question for you guys. It's usually I forgot to start this with this question because it kind of takes it back to the beginning. Out of all the jobs you guys want to do out there, you can have any job in the world. Why do you choose to be a character at Knott's? What got you guys to say, you know what, I'm going to go scare people for a few months. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like what made you guys want to become a character at the world's famous Knott's Halloween Haunt? Germaine, we'll start with you, my friend.
I'm not gonna lie. 1995 was my very first haunt. I was a senior in high school and always thought it'd be the coolest thing, like the coolest thing. Ended up doing a career for about 22 years. After I was done with that and retired, I said to myself, I'm going to do Scary Farm. I actually auditioned for the 2023 season and I got the job, but then I got another job for some organization that I really wanted to work for, and I had to pick between the two. So I decided to, try to help the communities out for a bit. And then this past year, I was like, I'm going for it. I'm going to do it. It's a bucket list item, and I just went for it. Like I said, it was just one of those things. I always want to do it. And the funny part is, once I got hired and people found out I was doing it, a lot of friends from high school and my former career and current friends, they're like, "Of course you're doing Scary Farm now." They just knew it was just something in me. Like it's just, that's just me. It's just me. And then Billy, shout out to Billy, the casting director, perfect spot for me. I think he knew exactly where to put me, and it was like just hand in glove. It honestly, I can say I was very spoiled from my very first Scary Farm experience, and that's from being a diehard fan. Like I've been following Missouri Galaxy, Goddess of Galaxy, a bunch of other haunt actors throughout the years, and just like inspiration. And then this past year, I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going for it, and here we are. And now I want to do it every year for the rest of my life. To be honest, it's one of the coolest jobs I've ever had.
Amen. Well, we're so glad that you're there. You're perfectly cast in that role. I can't imagine you doing anything else. If and when 13 goes, we got to find something for you to do.
Yes. And that's my favorite scare zone too. So it just worked perfectly for me.
Absolutely. Lando, what made you want to come work for Knott's Berry Farm during the haunt season, Knott's Scary Farm? What got you out there and to be in front of everyone and scaring the living dead out of us?
Oh man, it all started with like going to Scary Farm the first time. I think I was like 16 at the time, so high school. And I remember going for the first time, and I was super scared, and I did not want to go again. But then, went every year, I'm like, man, this is super dope. I want to be scared one year. So one of my buddies is like, dude, you should sign up for Scary Farm this year. And I'm like, all right, I don't know if I'll get the job, but why not? So I did, and I got a call from them, or not a call, whatever, email, they were interested. And they're like, yeah, we want you aboard. But the sad part was, at the time when I had my current job, they're like, the current job I'm at now wanted to hire me too at the time. So I was like, okay, I have to make a decision. So I'm like, okay, here's what I can do. I can work at Scary Farm, and then after that, I'll work at this job. So that's what I did. I just ended up coming to this job after, and they were super nice about it. But no, I've always just loved Scary Farm. I'm a big horror movie fanatic. I literally have Wednesday Addams on my arm.
Oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
But
that is rad.
I love scary stuff. So
those were long days. That was serious dedication.
Yeah.
To go from one job like that and then to do your day job right after. Holy cow, I can't imagine. Youth is
to be young.
To be young.
I mean, looking back at it, it was definitely worth it, and I would for sure do it again, no doubt. But yeah, it was.
And that's
great.
so inspiring to others who maybe think that they can't. That when you hear from someone else, nope, you know what, it's worth it. Just do it. That's awesome.
And it's it's crazy because there's people. I was hearing people coming from like San Diego, or like Texas, like flying over here from Texas. I'm like, dude, what? Like, you guys flying from Texas over the weekend, or like what? And they're like, yeah, and San Diego too. Like, one of the Bloodline fellows was from San Diego. I'm like, dude, that's nuts, but that's dedication. So I gotta give it to you.
Yeah.
So,
people getting hotel rooms to make it work. That's really a love of doing the job right there.
Oh yeah, super. I love the dedication of the monsters and how dedicated. It's cool to find fellow scary people out there that love the same stuff as we all do.
I love it.
And that kind of says something about Knott's as well. Is out of all the haunts that are here in Southern California, the people want to come work for the original haunt, not Scary Farm. I mean, they have options. They got the friends up at HHN, it's Hello Screams. I mean, you name it. There's almost every theme park has some type of a haunt. So that's dedication to travel.
Mary.
Yeah, the Queen Mary on top of that. To name a few, to want to come work at Knott's. That says a lot about the culture and the community there at Knott's Scary Farm during the haunt season. But
I mean, it's the creator, it's the starter, it's the originator of it all. Like
exactly.
At this point, everyone else is an emulator and a copycat because they're the original. So of course we want to work for the best. That's just, you want to be the best, you work for the best.
Absolutely.
And without having the IPs to work with that the other parks do, Knott's is just always showing up and hitting it out of the park with originality. And I'll say it all day long. If it hurts me in the future going to HHN or something, I'm a Knott's fan for life. Loved having a night at HHN, of course. It's fun to go experience. But at the end of the night, in my heart, I was ready to go back to Knott's. It's just where we've been our whole life. We've seen every other haunt out there. And you guys, all of you are so much more personal and personable. And it's a completely different experience in this park. I know we are missing some questions. I'm going to try and catch up on.
Zoe, do you want to share your experience real quick?
Yeah.
What got you to want to work at Knott's Scary Farm? Out of all the other parks in Southern California, why did you choose Knott's?
So actually, I want to go back. I'm going to make this brief, but I want to go back to my roots when I was a kid. I used to be so sensitive as a kid that I literally got harassed for, being so sensitive to like scary things. I literally had like students like boo, like literally boo, and I would start like freaking out because I was just a kid, but I was also sensitive. What did I know? So over time, I just was like, fast forward to high school. I had a thing for horror movies, but that is a different subject matter that I will not discuss here because it's a little dark. But when I actually got into like horror movies, and I was already doing cosplay since about 2014, I merged the two together and I made something out of it. So when I went to Dark Harbor for the first time in 2018, I was fascinated. Like, I didn't realize it then, but this is so unique. And I like this. Went back the following year, had a great time. I came to the thought, like, how can I get into this? This is a very unique thing that people do, and I want to learn more of it. So I tried to go to Dark Harbor, but the pandemic came through, and Dark Harbor did not return in 2021. So the second closest haunt that I could like seek work for was Knott's, and they got me hired right then and there. And I've just been doing it ever since then. And I'm coming up on my 5th season this season with Scary Farm, and I'm very happy. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Excellent.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
All right. We've got a question from a 13-year-old who wants to know, do you have any advice for people who would want to be a scare actor at KSF one day?
Just do it. Have fun.
Just do it.
Honestly, that's it. Like you're going to get to a point where, you're auditioning. Like, do I look like a jackass doing what I'm doing? But yet everyone's doing it, everyone's doing it. And then at the end of the day, you're backstage looking at people in all these different costumes and makeups. And you're like, I did it, so there's no way to do it, but just to do it. Like, there's honestly, when you audition, just go ham. Like, go ham, because end of the day, you're getting us position. We all have to audition every year. So you're going for a position that someone else might want. So you have to go ham, they have to go ham. And the more ham you get, the more ham Knotts get. So just have fun.
Right.
Love it.
Definitely what Germaine said. I mean, yeah, you're going to look like an idiot in the end, but you know what? It's worth it. And yeah, just have fun with it. Really, don't freak. It seems a little freaky, but don't freak yourself out. It's just about having fun.
Because everyone there is just looking just as silly as you guys are. So
Pretty much.
We feel the same way with our gimbals. Just go. Another question from reviewer is, what do you do behind the scenes to scare each other?
Is that like you're like coworkers or like what do you
Your coworkers, exactly. What are you guys doing when you are on your breaks to scare each other behind the scenes? I know we've got a story coming.
yeah, we got a story coming. I can tell.
I haven't really done any of that, but there'll be like sometimes we'll walk up behind somebody and just like stand there behind them and then wait till they'll turn around and then we're like, oh! But you know, nothing too funny. I mean, it looks like Germaine's got something funnier.
We're ready.
It wasn't really that you don't have the energy to really scare each other, because end of the day, when you get there, you're getting ready, you're changing, you're going to your spot, and then next thing you know, it's showtime, then it's your break time. And but I will tell you this. There is sometimes people that are still in character on break, and sometimes you just got to be like, I'm on break right now. And they're like, look. They're like, don't even know what to do, and they just walk away. And it's kind of like, not trying to put it's like, we're on break right now, bro. So as far as scaring goes, it's just, I think, toning it down, because some people can't, and yet some people can. So as far as scaring, you don't really have the time, to be honest. Maybe at the end of the night, a little pop scare here and there. You can mess with the line staff at the end when they're walking the final walkthrough. You can get them, but more is like staff. I will say with us at Room 13, it wasn't really like we had the time to scare each other, because it was like, let's go eat our lunch and let's go back, So there's not really a lot of time to scare. But if there was time, I'd probably tell you to calm down.
What about you, Zoe? Are you scaring behind the scenes too?
Honestly, I just poke fun. I goof off. I record like silly little moments to look back on and have a little laugh. That's really about it. Although I did, when I visited on my night off, I went to my little swampy home and I got annihilated that night. That's the fun thing about being a performer. Like, them, they're doing what you do. You're having your little break, and they just go after you, and it's so fun because you're a part of that too.
Yeah.
Like, of course, that's like I guess not everyone will know that, because you're obviously not in like character.
Right.
But it's fun to like have that personal experience with my fellow cast, and we're just goofing off and having fun, having a night, and that's the one fun thing about it. And I love it. I have a bunch of memories from that night that I still very much look back on. It's like, this is one of the things that makes it also worth it, because you're a part of that. Not like in that moment, but you're still a part of that family, and you're just poking fun, and it's just so fun. I love it.
We had the first question from a fresh loaf of garlic bread, and she asked, what is the most personal or unique thing they bring to their scares or performances? It can be a skill, a memory, or a past feeling or experience.
I think there was actually this one time. Also, by the way, that garlic bread name was offensive towards me because I'm a vampire.
She's a hoot.
That's funny. She's a lot of fun.
There was this one time where there was these two like ladies, I think like middle-aged, and I scared them once, and then I kept following behind through the whole maze, like through like the end, because you can't really go to the end because like there's a spot where some vampires are not allowed, but I would follow them like all the way through, and they wouldn't even know I was behind them, and I would just keep doing that over and over again, and they would just think that I was gone, but I would keep scaring them over and over again. And then I remember I got like, oh, he's back, and I was like, yeah, I am back, and I would keep tormenting them, but it was super funny.
That's hilarious.
For me, I had a career that dealt with a lot of line control and a lot of how do I say? It was a career where there was line control. It was so I came with knowledge of line control, knowledge of talking smack, knowledge of defending my, like it was basically me. Like there, I can't really say anything about how I got into it, or it was just like the character was me. Some of the stuff that I did do was, I did do a little improv back in the day, so I kind of learned, the rule of threes, things like that, and then crowd work. So what I would do, I would scan the crowd. Like I would look 10 people ahead because I'm going to be in contact with them in the next 3 seconds. So I would try to fire off 1 second, 3 second jabs at everybody coming in. And then once they would stop, that's when I would go into like maybe just some kind of like monologue or something, just to kind of keep them engaged. But as far as what I learned or what I brought to the table, honestly, it was just me. It was just me in a different character, being able to talk to people in a different way, with a different accent. So it was, honestly, it was just me, just a little bit more amplified, a little bit more, I guess, cartoon. It was the cartoonish version of Germaine, basically, is what my character was. So it was a pretty natural progression for me.
Absolutely. I love it. Did everyone answer that one?
I think Zoe.
Zoe's next.
Sorry, what's the question again?
No worries. What is the most personal or unique thing you bring to your scares or performances?
That's actually a really good question. That's another really good one. I have to think about that one for a second because there's really a lot. It's so for my character, past season, I want to incorporate like this, like flower girls at a wedding. So flower girl funeral. So kind of like the dark, morbid twist on what you would see at like a wedding. And I really wanted to bring because dealing with loss of children is we all know that's a very real thing. And that's a very hard thing to hold on to. But I wanted to commemorate that in a way that they're still around. They're still around. They know that we're around somewhere, and calling for mama or dada and crying for them. I want them so badly. I miss them, but I'm stuck in this torment that something had happened to this character for this to happen, and why they're so angry and frustrated and confused, lost. But more in like the childish, more younger format of it. And I really wanted to make that known. And I wish I had done more with that. And if I do come back, I do want to finish that off, because I feel like that I wasn't able to not succeed, but not really fulfill that. That's a separate story, but I wish I was able to, be more into that child. This child is angry, frustrated, aggressive, but deep down inside they're lost, confused, and just want their parents back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually I'll get into that later, but that's the basis of this uniqueness, that not everyone has to be adults that are dead. They can be very much a child or someone who's very young who didn't make it to their adult life. So I really wanted to incorporate that. And I'm naturally small too, so I could easily play a child. It's very easy for me. So I wanted to bring that.
Well, and that just gives you something now that you can bring into your next season with you. that thing that
Right.
you wanted to do last season, you can now bring with you and improve and better and be different. So even the same character now you can bring a different edge to. So that's kind of cool. I saw another question up here. What was it? Sorry, it kind of went up. Where was it?
While she's looking for that, I have one for you. This one's kind of fun here. We kind of covered this a little with you, Germaine, earlier, but this definitely applies to Lando and, of course, you as well, Zoe. Only because Knott's is always evolving. They're always switching things up. Every year we get 2 new mazes all the time. My question for you, the three of you, is if you guys could do another role there in the park, whether it's another maze, another scare zone, or any other character in the Knott's Scary Farm universe besides your own. Germaine, you can't change. But I know someday Room 13 will have its final day. But the three of you, we'll start with you, Lando, because that maze is bye-bye now. No more Bloodline. What would you, I'm assuming the three of you are coming back, but question is, what would you guys like to do other than your role that you are currently casted in right now? Lando, what do you got?
Are we talking about like any kind of maze?
Yeah, any maze that's current, or maybe you want to do one of the 2 new mazes that none of us really know that's coming up.
Honestly, I gotta go with Room 13. People keep saying, "Oh, like it seems boring." Nah, dude. I like Room 13 because I love the 1920s. I think it's super sick. I love like the mafias and stuff. So I'd either say like Room 13 or probably like Clown Street because I love clowns. And I
Absolutely.
think people always say, "Oh, you're like so funny, Lando. You're a goofball." I think I would be a good clown, but probably one of those two.
That's awesome. Someone's ready for that elixir.
I know.
Hey, maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll go to Room 13 this year. We'll see. I'm not
That's
too scared.
awesome.
But
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
When you guys are allowed to share, you'll have to let us know where you're at.
oh, for sure.
Definitely.
For me, I mean, one of the dreams would be Ghost Town because it's iconic. But then I'm like, do I have the lack of energy to be able to be just kind of stealth and be like that monster? So I think for my energy, I know me. It would either my most comfort zones would probably be Goring 20s because of the energy, and of course Carnival because of the energy. So and I have a high respect for Ghost Town. Like that's like sacred area in my book. So like you got to be the man to be there or the woman to be there. So I would rather just be kind of like a cool little gangster in Goring 20s or a crazy clown in Carnival, and let the real pros handle Ghost Town.
There you go. I love it. I love it. Love it. Love it. Good answer. Zoe, how about you? If there's another role you could choose there, what would you like to cast yourself in?
You know, I actually originally wanted to be a griever, so I still take up on that offer, although my current character I hold so much love and compassion for. But if it were anything outside of the lake, it would be like Ghost Town, or because Ghost Town's really cool, and I love like Western, and that's really cool. I previously wanted to be a clown in Carnival, so there's that. Kind of moved on from that, but that would still be really cool if I'm honest. So Carnival, Ghost Town, probably somewhere in a maze. Madame Noodle was so fun. I would like, if I had the chance to just do it even for one night, I would probably take up on that offer because she was so fun. And that's where I found myself a little bit. I recognized that, doing more than what I thought I could, or not that I thought I could, but more than I expected for myself. And I really pushed that. So that would be really cool. So it's really just, I'm pretty flexible. Like, as long as I'm just happy to be there. So I'm pretty flexible. But if I had a choice, those would Ghost Town, Carnival, and Madame Noodle. But I'm pretty flexible.
Awesome. I think you'd be great as one of the clowns in Carnival.
Totally.
Your energy just matches anything there, anything in the park, but specifically the one of the clowns. I think you would just kill it. Pun intended.
Graveshift Cosplay asks, question, what was your favorite blooper from the season? Things breaking, recovery from it, or your own goofs even? Lando, any good goofs or bloopers?
Sorry, I'm like moving between rooms.
No, you're fine.
Oh, it's super dark in here.
The darker, the better.
I-
We love the creepy darkness.
Okay. I think funny for me, oh my gosh. So this was like at the very end of my season because I had to leave a couple days earlier because I was going on vacation. I think I left, this is like October 29th. I think it's, yeah. And so there was a pole in one of the Bloodline rooms, like a lamppost. And there was this one girl that would like lean against the pole and you could like jump out and scare them. So I tried to do that, and one of the viewers, Jacob, knows. He saw it happen. The whole pole, so I pull on it, and the whole pole goes. It just falls, and it makes this really loud, like banging noise.
Oh no!
That's not good. So I was holding up the pole while guests were walking by, and I was like sweating my balls off. And it was so awkward. And the people just kept coming and coming. I'm like holding this pole and just like staring at people, like trying to scare them at the same time. And I felt so embarrassed. I'm like, dude, this sucks.
Oh.
And I just, at one point, set the pole against the, like one of like the props, so it would just stay there. But it was so awkward. And I'm like, I hope that never happens again.
There's no footage of this anywhere. I'm assuming, right?
But the venue supervisor, Sam, I just told her that I tripped and held onto the pole because I didn't want to like admit that I broken on. Well, it was an accident. It was an accident the whole time.
Of course, yeah.
But I didn't want to tell her I did that because I don't think we were even supposed to be doing that. And I'm probably exposing myself now, but oh well. But yeah, not fun.
Oh, so that's a fun story, though. I do like that one. Germaine, what's one of the craziest, funniest bloopers that you got you can share with us?
Well, so like my position was very like in a corner, so there wasn't a lot of like bloopers per se. But one of the things I was able to do was lure people that were afraid to get into the maze to get in. So when they would stop, and some of the people would be like, I don't want to go in, I'm afraid. So there was these group of girls, I'm going to say 20 to 24 years old, like 4 of them. And they're scared. And at this point, I even go like, hey, look, kid, I'm not trying to be scary. I'm trying to be real with you. Like, it's not that scary, blah, 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 blah. So I'd like walk backwards with them into the entrance to the door, into the entrance of the maze. But the door, they have like a little handle that you can hit, and it makes this like crazy loud noise. So I'm like luring them in, nah, kids, you're okay. It's 1920s. And then when I hit that thing, all those girls like literally jumped into the bushes. Those palm trees that were next to they were on the floor rolling around. And luckily my line supervisor and one of the main supervisors were there. And it was, I broke character because I had to go to the bathroom. I literally was like by the door, like laughing. I said, I gotta go, and they were just freaking laughing. Like, we helped the girls up, of course, but that whole reaction they gave, and that just them rolling on, it was like a cartoon. So I'm trying to help them up, but they're still rolling. And mind you, there's like just things falling everywhere. And at that point, I just totally broke character, started laughing, and my line supervisor Lena's like, go, just go. And I'm like walking through the thing, just like so that was like it wasn't a blooper, but it was like a good moment where I had to like completely break character and walk away because I just lost it.
That's hilarious. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Again, no one was probably recording or nothing, huh?
Where were we?
Where were we when all these bloopers
never
happened?
It didn't happen then. Zoe, any good bloopers in your season?
I have one funny one, but I'll probably save that for the draft. There was one night that I was over by towards Gauntlet, so that big cemetery scene that's right there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this happened, but I was going for a scare and I tripped. So I just completely like spilled myself on the ground. My basket's rolling. My leaves and petals are just like on the ground. I'm just like, like it was funny, but it was also, I would say, exactly embarrassing, but kind of more awkward.
Yeah.
Like I'm just there like picking up my little pieces and like so that was a little silly moment in between. So I was like, okay, let's move on. They had their scare. I had my moment. Let's move on.
That's hilarious. There's Lando.
There's Lando. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
Oh no, sorry, my phone died when I was running towards my car, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not gonna make it." But
It's all good. It's all good, friend. Thank you for coming back.
Of course.
Lando, for you, is there a favorite vampire moment?
Vampire moment. So there was one of my fellows, Sebastian. I think you remember Sebastian, right?
Love.
Yeah,
Sebastian.
he's a great dude. I actually met him. Well, when I met him, I'm like, this guy's really cool. But I remember him telling me that he would just follow the guests through the maze, like holding their arms and stuff, just like the whole maze and stuff. And then I think he like ended up getting caught, so they forced him to stay on the top of the like train where the train is.
Is that why he's up there?
Yeah. I'm exposing him. So Sebastian, if you're watching this, you know you did.
Sebastian, if you're watching.
Yeah.
But no, it was just funny because every time I would look up there, he looked so upset, and I was like, dude, I feel bad, but it's kind of funny at the same time. But no, I mean, other than that, everything was pretty fun.
That is fun. I love it. Forsaken Lake here. What is the creepiest or coolest detail about your character's look or lore?
Wow, that's actually really good. So I guess really just this child flower girl that's just like running around, like having fun. I'm gonna make your head as my next planter. Like just snapping like that is like chilling. And yes, that is an actual phrase that I did use out there. Like, or actually a really good one that I actually before the season I got to scare Goddess of Galaxies with this one, which was actually really shocking. So basically, I'm just there. I held like the flower and this little flower right here, right? Put it in your mouth like a pacifier and watch you fall silent like a baby. Poison is the best medicine after all. Incorporating the death, like I'm killing you, but like you don't know it until you realize that you don't realize until it's too late and you're dead. So like that, like that's terrifying. That's very dark and terrifying to hear that from this little girl. And another thing, I wanted to incorporate like this. It was difficult at first because again, my transition from a maze to a zone and really thinking deep with like, how can I like develop this character to make it terrifying and just really unnerving? I wanted to add like I'm trying to say this in a way that isn't like too aggressive, but like mental disorders. Like how can I incorporate like the motherly aspect of like the florist, but also has like, because again, I'm small, incorporate young girl, child florist, menacing. So that was another like a little challenge that I had with, and that's another thing that I want to, really dive deep into and complete that so that it makes more sense. But in reality, I was more focused on like being the child that has like these issues, and really make it dark and sinister. So I think that was really neat to test out. And again, I wish I had completed that during the season, but I had a weird run-in, which I won't discuss right now. But yeah, I think like a dark, twisted, sinister child that wants to poison you with her petals, it's like terrifying, right? That's like, you wouldn't want to see that out of a child. They are too young to know this, or in some way. But yeah.
Awesome. Creepy 100%.
Right? For Germaine, what was
Yes.
it like being the first face of your maze?
Honestly, like the people that know me, it's pretty much I'm the center of attention all the time wherever I go. So it's not on purpose. It's just that's just my personality. So it actually, like I said, it was very, very fitting for me to be the hype man. And that's what I try to do. I tried to get the crowd, especially when they stopped, I try to get them going. I would, try to joke with them. I would try to ask them, like, what's the path? No, I tell them, like, what's the magic word or what's the magic phrase? And they wouldn't know. So I'd be like, all right, follow me. Ama. And they'd be like, Ama. And then I'd be gabagoo. And they're like, and they're like, yeah, you are, get in there, you knuckleheads, So it was like, there was always something going on where I had to just really just be me. So it wasn't like I had to do anything crazy. It was just that role was me. But back to what Zoe was saying, like prop wise, I will say, shout out to the makeup team because they are amazing. And honestly, it's just once you're in character, you're in character. So my thing was like with Zoe's trauma as a child, one of the things I did try to do was prevent parents from causing trauma to their children.
Mm-hmm.
Like one thing I didn't like in line was like a parent forcing their child to go into the maze and the child is going nuts. Yeah. So I'd be like, hey, Pops, do me a favor, don't traumatize this kid, all right? Go through that exit right there. And they'd be like, what? And I'd be like, you can come back, just I don't want the kid, because I want that kid to be able to come back next year. That's right. At least work his way up so that they don't have emotional scars, emotional damage, for going to Scary Farm. So my thing was more like just trying to be more welcoming, trying to give them a little show, try to be the hype man, let them know that they're not going to want them to drink the elixir, but I want them to drink the elixir to look like me. So it was just a wordplay on how to get people in to one, get them ready for the maze, two, know what it's about, and three, know that it's just a good time. It's the 1920s. Come on, it's the Roaring 20s. It's a good time.
Right. That's right. I know we've got a couple more questions, and then I know that Zoe's got some Instagram questions coming her way as well, as she was live on Instagram. And if they apply to everybody, maybe everybody can answer them. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Awesome. Okay, we've got Spooky Lobby says, my question is, if you can collab with another scare zone, what scare zone would you want to have with, like, example, Forsaken with Gauntlet or Ghost Town with Forsaken Lake?
Ooh,
would you want to collab with another area?
A little crossover.
Or another maze even? Would two work together?
Well, two worlds collide.
What would be a fun collab?
I'm going to go with energies. So like the energy of Forsaken Lake and Ghost Town would really mix. Energy of Goring 20s and the Carnival would mix, because there's just wild zones.
Yeah.
It would be kind of weird to go Forsaken Lake with the Carnival because it doesn't match. But I think energy wise, Ghost Town, Forsaken Lake, and Gauntlet, and then for the other energy would be the Carnival and Goring 20s.
Definitely. They got that same spooky dark feel.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you, Lando? Do you think there's any good collabs there between mazes or scare zones?
I don't know. I mean, it's just because like a lot of the different mazes have like their own little stories and eras, and it'd just be weird like if you max Gauntlet with like Carnival. That wouldn't make sense.
No.
So, maybe if you put Carnival in like Chilling Chambers, because Chilling Chambers is like a a memorial to like a lot of the mazes and stuff. But other than that, I don't really think anything would really be.
Actually, now that I think of it, I think widows would be good for room 13, especially the bar, because they're single ladies.
Yeah, there you
Okay,
go.
yeah.
That's
Fade
right.
to Black says Forsaken and Spiders.
Would be cool.
That would be
Would be
fun.
cool.
I think a good one too would be Chilling Chambers and Cinema Slasher because they're kind of both like throwbacks in a way.
Oh yeah.
That's
Cinema,
smart.
Cinema Slasher
Yeah.
already is bringing back old stories, old mazes into the fold there, into like the history, the lore of Scary Farm. So the two would just mesh together. They could probably. I've said this before on a live stream. I think those two mazes specifically, they could just, Knotts, if you're listening, bring back old recycled mazes or old mazes. Just bring them back as an paying homage from years past, because we've been going since we were in our teens, and so there's so many mazes that I want to see again. So I think Cinema Slasher is perfect for that, or even Gauntlet. That, like, those can be staples there, and just keep it fresh year after year after year. I think that would be a great idea. Again, Knotts, if you're listening.
Another one from A Fresh Loaf of Garlic Bread. She asks, mini question, but with auditions, do you guys think it would be a faux pas to monologue a little bit?
Just follow
Yeah.
the instructions. Just
Okay.
yeah, just do what they tell you, because they're
Good
going to
advice.
have a very specific thing they want to hear from you, and just kind of just be within the parameters.
Good advice. Good advice.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Anyone else from our veterans here, Lando? Any advice for auditions?
I mean, yeah, like what you were saying, do what they say, but they do want you to have your own character made up. I remember when I was auditioning, they just had you like make up a character, so it could be like, I don't know, make up a random clown or something and act it out.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, really, it's just improvising and kind of thinking about what you would want to be, and just show it pretty much.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
definitely.
Awesome. All right. I know, Zoe, you've got some questions coming in on your end on Instagram. We want to definitely give you an opportunity to get some of those answered and see if they apply to anyone else here.
Yeah, I do have quite a few, but I don't know if we have time to do all of them. I just want to ask just in case.
I don't know. What do you think? Maybe 5 or so? How many are we talking?
I have 7.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do 7.
Although, okay, a lot of them are like big chunks, but there's like a couple of them that are like, there's one question that's like really minute. So I just want to like verify and see if it's like what we can work with. I also do have a couple of questions that are not exactly haunt related, because I know this is like a haunt podcast, so maybe we can deviate more to the haunt related questions, if that's good.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Great. And I wanna go back to the street zone question, or the audition question. I had someone ask me best way to get into street zones, and from my experience, because this was Forsaken was my first time, so like I'm still learning. But this goes back to like, let's say before your street character audition. Great, you got one. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to your previous season. So, and like what I did with Madame Noodle, you're really engaging with the guests, because it's a little more difficult when you're in like a room, but like for an outside character like Madame Noodle and Lucinda from Mesmer, you have a lot more of an opportunity to actually interact. Because I was a line interactor. I love line scaring and interaction. So I really used that to my advantage. That was great. Also, to have a solid idea for your character is also really great to have. Again, with like Zoe, Madame Noodle, really trying to figure it out and how I can really make that to my specialty. Really ask yourself the questions. be crazy, be absolutely unhinged, don't hold back. And I made an important note that I think it's good to remember that you're a monster and not a human. Madame Noodle, she can be seen as a human being on the outside and not like a werewolf or a fish or whatever, or like Refugee Girl, human, but they're still monsters. So we have to act as monsters. We are not human necessarily, we are monsters, and that is what we are. Really messing around with, or not messing around, but really tapping into the emotions of guests, like scared or fear, suspicion, confusion before a jump scare, like they weren't completely expecting, all that stuff. So every guest reacts differently. You're gonna get some bad apples, unfortunately, and that's just kind of how it is. But that is not judgment of what you're capable of doing and how well you're doing with this character. That's no judgment whatsoever. That's just them. That's not you. So that's very important to remember that. Another question with a very important topic that I want to talk about. It's more personal for the community, but for those who are more well aware, there's a lot of drama that circulates in the community, and I think it's very important to touch up on that. And I have it right here on a document. It's certainly something that's not to be ignored. There's a lot of just nonsense that circulates, whether it's blown out of proportion or pointing fingers. They did this, they did that, and it's like, come on, we're adults. We can be civil. We wish we could all come together and be civil with one another, but some people just don't want to be that way. And it breaks my heart a little bit because I love this community so much. This community has done a lot for me in ways that I didn't expect, especially for like, I didn't think I would ever be a part of this community. That's what my younger self would say. But this community has really done a lot for me in many ways, that seeing all of this go around is like, we can be better. No community is perfect, but we can really strive to be better. Like we're like, most of us, if not every single one of us, is like 18 and above, let alone 21 and above. We're adults. We can act like adults, but just because we dress up in costumes and get makeup doesn't mean that we're children. We are supposed to be in a workspace where it is civil, it is safe, with honesty, friendliness, and common sense. Like, if anything, common sense is like way up there. We should not be behaving like children in such light like this. It's just inappropriate, and it kind of, not saying that it gives the community a bad rep per se, but we can always be better with how we treat others and what we do, what we say. Some things are just meant to be quiet. That's literally just the gist of it. And I know that I would never want to treat anyone the way that, like, I don't want to treat anyone differently. I care about people here. I have so much respect for people in this community. They treat me with respect. I give it back to them. And that's really it. It's not that hard to just be kind and courteous with people. Like, this community has really done a lot for me, and I wish we could just be better. So it's good to bring awareness to an ongoing situation that's been around for a long time. And I want to be a good person, a positive light to the community. Like, it's just not that hard. And I wish we could just be smarter with each other. Like, I could go on and on, but like, it's not that hard.
You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to a large amount of people to lead by example. And you're dealing with a lot of youth, be it they're 18. Our maturity levels, our brains aren't fully developed when we're 18. And so to these kids, they may come in thinking it's cool to talk negatively about someone. Maybe that makes them look cooler, or there could be the gamut of situations there, but a lot of you veterans, this is your opportunity to either take the bad eggs that have been there for a while or teach the kids coming in, and kids can be any age. Y'all are kids. We're all kids, right? But, you know, sometimes even an older person, we think just because they're older that means that they are emotionally mature. You'd be surprised. So you here today, and how you carry yourself behind the scenes and on stage, and with what you're saying right now, you can be and lead by example. And I think that is the best way to get your message across.
And that's what I want to do for the community. We need more connection and kindness, fellowship among others. We don't have enough of it. Like, not to say that the negative outshines the positive, but especially in a time that when we do need it, when something happens and it comes to light, I think that we should all just come together and remember who we are. We are a family. We are people that are unique. We are talented. If it wasn't for Not Scared From, we wouldn't even be here. So I want to, be a good example for the community and help and guide and inspire and motivate, all of the good stuff. And I know that I can't fix everything, but at the least that I can do is to just be there for others and make their day, because there are people that want to be like us.
Mm-hmm.
There are people that cheer us on from the. They cheer us on. They come out and support. They come by year after year to see what we do and what the backstage crew create for us to deliver to them, and that's what makes the event so special. And it's very important to remember that.
To kind of piggyback off of what Zoe's saying, yeah, there can be drama, but what I got out of it, especially being older, I'm almost 50, so that stuff is like far in my rearview mirror. But what I did get to experience myself was the inclusivity of trans, non-binary, any other, race, religion. It was like a melting pot of everything, and I loved it. Yeah. I got corrected once because I called someone the wrong, pronoun, and okay, I'm sorry, I won't do that again. Like, I learned, I moved on, and it is what it is, So, there can be the drama, but there's also a lot of inclusivity too. And end of the day, we're all freaks. Every single one of us here, we're freaks. So we already have that one line in common. Let's try to build around that instead of, like I said, I didn't get involved in any of this stuff, but just hearing it, like, end of the day, we're the same community. We are the same community. Let's really just try to focus on helping each other, making each other a better monster, making each other a better scare actor. Not just that, line staff, like everybody, everything is a big unit. And I got to work with the line staff, so I got very close to my line staff. So it's just kind of like I got to see the big melting pot. That's the unit and the machine called Not Scary Farm. Yes, there's going to be drama and everything, but end of the day, the beauty is just all the inclusivity we have. Every walk of life is back there. And that was a big change for me because I was so used to certain people for 20 something years. Now it's just like, okay, let's have fun. And I'm sorry that Zoe had to go through that, but at the end of the day, that's almost every big job with a bunch of young kids. It's just trying to just go through the fog and just keep your head up, Zoe.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too detailed into this, but for someone who dealt with a lot in their past, like, struggling to find friends and finding like myself, I think that, like, of course I had other really cool stuff before I got into the community, but being a part of a community that's so different and unique, I got to branch off of that, find my creativity and talent, discover that through my acting, grow off of that, and find that there's so many people that support us. They come by year after year or night by night, like night after night, year by year, because they support what we do. And I'm glad that I can help pump that blood, because it also gives me the benefit of I have people that actually care about me. I have people that see me and they show me that, like, not even just like through little trinkets, they just little bits of I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. You're so talented. You are superb. It's little things like that that really do mean a lot to me, because like I wish I had heard that before in the past when I was going through a lot of stuff. But I'm glad that I have it now, because I can really like fulfill like this, something different, just to be something different out of the norm and contribute to a community that I really care about, that has done a lot for me. So it's a really special community of our own nature. We're just in this little spooky corner of life, and I'm like grateful for branching out of that fear of being so sensitive and scared as a kid to now it's something that I can use as a tool of, my talent, recognizing my talent, discovering new things, making friends and having connections. Like, oh my goodness, that's just like almost my everything. It really does mean so much.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for sharing. And I think it's important to bring light to, things that you feel dark about. And I think that's another good part about this community, is, and we talk about it all the time. I think that there are more nice and amazing people in this community than just about any other community. And we're proud to know you guys. Every single one of you that we've come across has been a blessing in our life in one way, shape, or form. And we're just full of gratitude. We're full of gratitude for two people who got a little courage one day to pick up a camera and push live. And we are not pros. We are just winging it, you guys. we just push live and go. And by the end of the season, you guys made us two old folks feel so amazing and so special, that it was like, how do we keep connecting with you, and what can we do back for you guys because of what you guys do for us? So you all are an amazing community, and everyone has their strengths and everyone's got their weaknesses, but you just keep working on your strengths, improving those weaknesses, and you will be a light in somebody else's darkness. And one time someone may look at you and just say, you know what, I need to think more like that. I need to be more like that. And even though you don't realize it, because maybe you are experiencing a negative with that person, if you keep shining, they're going to notice. They're going to notice. And sometimes you may never get the recognition that comes with that. And maybe once in a while you will. Maybe someone will come to you one day and say, hey, you know what? I see things a little differently because of you. And that just really piggybacks off of what Germaine just said, is being exposed to so many different wonderful, amazing walks of life that we aren't necessarily exposed to in our everyday work life, or, maybe at our age or even older than us. And it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. So
Absolutely. We can't thank you guys so much enough for being here. I'm sorry, Germaine, you're going to piggyback off of that.
like you said, you don't know who you're going to represent or who's gonna like your character. So one of the beauties, I do have to do a shout out to my buddies Aiden and Ezekiel. Aiden's Amazing Adventures and Ezekiel. I was shocked because a mom came and said, hey, you helped my son get into the maze. You made him comfortable and he wants to be you for Halloween. And I was like,
wow.
Whoa. That was like totally like life-changing for me, not just that, the other kids, that the other parents were like, hey, thanks for getting my kid in there. We really appreciate it, and not just that. I had no idea, you guys, real quick, that I would get a bunch of stuff from fans. Like literally, and I have a ring. I have a little skeleton ring that I got from a very cool couple, but it's not ready for it. Like this was I was not ready for. And last night I was like looking at everything, just like, excuse the language, holy shit, I did it. Like, holy shit, I was a scare actor. Holy crap, you know. And this right here, even if I don't ever do it again, just this right here, knowing that I impacted people enough for them to give me something that I will cherish forever, just made my everything. So to piggyback on Zoe, like, yes, you don't know who's going to be there, you don't know who you're inspiring, but end of the day, we're there because we're all crazy. We all want to be spooky. We all want to have fun, and our crowd's there for the same thing. So that's pretty cool that we have a lot of different avenues of emotion that we can go through at Scary Farm, to be honest.
Yeah,
for sure.
that kind of leads up to my last question for you guys. And but first of all, before we let you guys go, we can't thank you guys enough, the three of you, for being here with us on our third episode of the FogCast. We're so grateful, and we look forward to your guys' future. Hopefully, you guys are coming back. We can't wait to see you guys grow into your roles, into your future roles, and you guys inspiring everyone else. Just know that you guys being here with us, you guys are an inspiration for other people in the chat or whoever coming in the future, little ones that might someday are going to look back in this and say, look, I want to be like Lando, Germaine, Zoe. They're celebrities. So just know that you guys are not only special to us, but some future monster out there that's gonna fill your shoes or hopefully scaring right next to you guys. So thank you guys so much. But the last question I have for you guys is we're so grateful. Gratitude's very important in our life. We pretty much wake up every day and say three things out loud that we're grateful for, because we like to focus on the things that we are grateful for, what we have than what we don't have. So Germaine, Zoe, Lando, what are three things you guys are grateful for right now? Lando, we'll start with you, my friend.
I would definitely say my job. As you guys know, I already said about it, but I work with special needs. I'm grateful for each one of them. I love to go into work every single day. Every single. Oh, is he there?
You're
No, you're good. You're here.
Okay.
Your job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so blessed to have a job like that where I get to give back to the special needs community. It really blesses my heart hanging out with them and helping out people like that.
That's amazing.
I love going to my job every single day with a smile on my face. And then probably family for sure. I always got my mom supporting me, always looking back, always making sure I'm doing the right thing, make sure I'm not getting in trouble. My sister too, she's always got me. And then just having friends that always care about me and always got my back whenever I need it.
awesome. Very, very, very special. Thank you for sharing that with us, Lando. Zoe, what are three things that you are grateful for right now?
Wow. Oh man. That's a so many great questions tonight, by the way. That's really has me thinking. Wow. Sorry if I get emotional. It's like these things are like super important to me.
That's okay.
I cast family, connection, and friends in the community. My super awesome parents who are probably still watching this stream right now. Hi. They came out they came out one night. Absolutely had no idea. On the calendar to say they were going for an outing, had no idea that I would be seeing them later that night at work. Like, wait, I know these people. Wait. And so that like that made my night. That was truly special. That was like one of the best highlights. And I have a video of my mom. I was doing my bustle shuffle, as some of my friends call it. Shuffling over to my mom. We were having just a cute little mother-daughter moment. Still in character. Hi, Mom. She's in the chat. And we're just having this really cute mother-daughter, but still in character moment that was like, oh, this is so cute. My cast, man, where do I start? Like, these people in this, like, back in like 2023, somewhere 2022, I was infatuated with Forsaken Lake at one point. Not like obsessive, like bad, but like really thought out, like, this is such a beautiful, well organized and laid out zone. I want to be a part of this. This is my aesthetic. I was so inspired by people that worked there, in like active during their, like, if you know what I'm saying. Sorry, I'm like messing up my words. I was so inspired by them. I looked up to them. I was enamored by them. And actually getting to work with those people and having connections with them, making memories with them was like, still means everything to me. And being a part of the zone that I care about and love so much, still do to this day, for a long time, like is still very much heartfelt. And it makes me emotional. It's gonna make me emotional because I knew I wanted to be there, and I got to be friends with people that I was inspired by. I got to work with them. I got to be friends, coworkers, and make memories and just have so much fun with it. And I'm just forever grateful for that. And that goes back to my third point. Having connections, like being in a spot where I really didn't have any friends. I was kind of like by myself a lot, and I was going through a lot. The bullying and harassment in school and struggling to get by. And 10 years later, like, especially, I want to divert briefly for a second with my procession thing. Procession was such a special, unique thing to me because it was symbolic to letting go of the things that didn't matter anymore. I got to put it to rest, memorialize it for, having the strength to continue on while just put in my past, lay it down to rest, and move on, have the life that I deserve, and sharing it with the community, having friends, connections was like still very much heartfelt. I have all the gifts back here from the season, and it's like I'm so grateful for everything. It really does mean a lot. And I could go on and on, but enough about me. But truly, everything about it just means so much. It really does.
Awesome.
It's very heartfelt and emotional for me.
Thank you, Zoe, for sharing that with us. We appreciate that so much. Germaine, what are 3 things you are grateful for right now, friend?
Well, first would be my family, my wife, my son, my grandson, my daughter-in-law, my mom. Shout out to my wife. She's dealt with my ADHD for the last 17 years. And, she's the one that has to wake up early in the morning, yet I'm getting home at 2:30 in the morning and, waking her up. So, not just that, she's very supportive. She has always been supportive of me. And mind you, I don't know if you guys ever saw the movie Big Fish, how the guy just has so many adventures in life. I always said that's my life. I just want to have as many adventures as I can. And luckily my wife is there for a lot of them. So I'm going to say my family. Second is just my life in general. I've had a good life. I've had an exciting life. I've done a lot of cool things. I've seen a lot of cool things. I've worn a lot of different hats. So jack of all trades, master of none. And the other thing I'm grateful for is just my friends also, like pretty much everything that pertains, friends, family, music, like there's so much in my wheelhouse that makes me happy. But I know my main core is my family. My wife, my mom, who's my roller coaster buddy. My mom goes with me to Knott's all the time, and she's on the roller coaster with me. She loves Ghost Rider, and she's pretty up there in age, so she's having fun. Sorry, Mom, I didn't mean to say you're that old. But like my wife, my family, my mom, my friends, my life, everything I can say. I'm just happy with life because I had that punk rock mentality. I'm not gonna live to be 30. I'm almost 50. So, I'm very happy to be where I'm at right now. So, and very fortunate to be here and be able to share the screen with Lando and Zoe and you guys. Like, I really do appreciate it.
Awesome.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you guys so much. Where can we find you guys? If you guys have any socials, feel free to drop your socials right now. Go ahead and promote yourself. Where can we find you guys? Lando, we'll start off with you, friend.
I think it's Instagram. I don't really know. Oh man, I think it's like LAN and then GANNO or something. It's
okay.
We've got lando.gone, LANDO.GANN. I'm gonna share that right now.
Yeah.
And we'll also we'll probably link your guys' socials
Yeah.
in the description of the video as well. So that's how you guys can reach out and or follow Lando on the socials. Thank you so much, Lando, for being here with us. Zoe, you as well. Where can we find you on the socials?
So you can find me on Instagram. I'm very active there. I have more personal apps, but that's like separate. So so you can find me at Miss Distort on Instagram. So that's MISSDISTORT, all one word, and that's me.
Awesome, very cool.
Yeah.
Germaine, where can we all find you on the social medias?
I do have a very inconsistent YouTube channel. Actually, a lot of the stuff I have is Knott's history, like
Hey, there's
Orange
Hey,
County history.
fun.
So I'm a big guy in history of Orange County because I'm born and raised Orange County. So I have my Memories Amusement YouTube channel. I have my Memories Amusement Instagram channel, and that's pretty random. And then I do have Ascending Shadows, which is my 3D printing company, which I do little miniature coffins and little gothic knickknacks that you guys can get. So
Love that.
those are my socials. But yeah, check it out. Memories Amusement. Some videos from pandemic is when I started.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I actually had my 2024 filmed the first 2 days, and then I got the job, and then it stopped since then. So, but yeah, I do have a little YouTube channel.
Well, very cool.
Awesome.
Yay.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. We're going to go ahead and put you backstage real quick. Stay there so we can say goodnight to you. We're going to close out the show and end the live. Hey,
Thank you all for checking us out. Appreciate you.
Yes.
See you in the fog.
Right.
Can we get a round of applause for our 3 guests
Yes.
tonight? Thank you again,
You guys are
Germaine,
awesome.
Zoe, Lando. We look forward to seeing you guys in the fog, guys.
All right, real quick here.
Good night, y'all.
Good
See you in
night.
the fog.
See you in the fog.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, booze and ghouls. What did you guys think? Episode 3 of the FogCast. Let us know here in the chat. That was great. It was nice to get another take on other performers there. Our first street performer,
Yeah.
street scare actor
Yeah.
on the FogCast. We look forward to many more street performers here in the future. But thank you guys again for tuning in tonight to our 3rd episode of the FogCast. And also let them know the news about this FogCast.
So we're taking the FogCast to other venues. So you can now find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We're also going to be moving into Amazon as well. So definitely you can find us there if you want to listen in your car ride or share with friends. Obviously here on YouTube under podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, and soon to be Amazon as well. So there's that.
And thank you, Miss Darcia, for 6 months,
6
of
months
membership.
of membership. Thank you so much,
Miss Darcia. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ninja Watchers here. Thank you, mods. And thank you to our members that keep tuning in to us, giving us your time. We appreciate you all so much. It's halfway to Halloween, so more events are coming up our way. So if you haven't done so yet, please turn on that notification. If you are new here, why don't you consider subscribing to the channel, be part of the Living Dead fam. We appreciate it. If you guys like spooky, year-round theme park general, we got you covered for all things Halloween and theme parks right here on the Living Dead fam. So thank you guys once again, one last time for being with us. We greatly appreciate that.
All right, we've got Fan Fest tomorrow night, Spooky Swap Meet on Saturday, and Bats Day at Disneyland. 3 live streams after tonight, and another big weekend next weekend. So join us on our live stream. Again, if you enjoy this content, we would appreciate if you would like and subscribe. And I guess that's about it for tonight.
All right, folks. And as always say, we will see you all
A little later.
in the fog.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.